Hello, everybody. HealthForce podcast. I'm Fran Ramsden, RamsdenEliteFitness.com, RamsdenEliteFitness.com. Well, I want to talk about two things today. One, real brief here, we'll start with. There was a massive lawsuit happening in the supplement industry. So, without further ado, I'm going to read from PricePlow.com the breaking news. But first, how can I read breaking news or the latest news without a little bit of music? That's better. Bodybuilding.com is suing GNC for $100 million. Oh, I'm not making it up, folks. Read from PricePlow.com. Grab a seat, folks, because this is happening. Today, while checking Pacer, we saw that there was a motion to correct/amend the Jim Stoppani lawsuit. Had the two sides reached a settlement, we thought? Not even close. Instead, Bodybuilding.com has amended the lawsuit to include GNC, and they are now seeking $100 million in damages. You can download the amended lawsuit below. This is not a joke nor a drill. The two behemoths are about to clash. The bullet points for the lawsuit. It seems that the points against Jim Stoppani remain the same. The changes include GNC. Point number one, Bodybuilding.com is seeking $100 million in damages. Point number two, Bodybuilding.com is seeking cancellation of trademark number 4,561,658, which is for Jim Supplement Science. Number three, Bodybuilding.com has named John Doe's from 1 to 100. These are assumed to be individual franchisees or perhaps other stores who dare sell any gym product right now. The complaint the next point, the complaint includes comparisons of the new Gym 2.0 labels as evidence that Bodybuilding.com's gym mark has been violated. Next point, Bodybuilding.com's lawyers caught Jim Stoppani using his website to state that his products won the Bodybuilding.com Award of Excellence, but now show the new GNC Gym 2.0 pictures. Major conflicts of interest. Basically, he got caught half updating the website. And then lastly, Bodybuilding.com claims to have sent warnings to both GNC and Jim about this. And those warnings clearly went unheeded. So, I'm going to briefly talk about this before slipping into our second point of discussion today. We have Bodybuilding.com is a massive online retailer for supplementation. And I have fully throated supported Bodybuilding.com. I've been a big supporter of them. GNC, I have not been a supporter of. I actually loathe GNC. I can't stand GNC. They're a massive retailer. They are the number one supplementation retailer. They're well known. They're all over the place. I just don't like them. And the reasons for which we won't discuss today, perhaps in a different episode. And then we have Jim Stoppani and his company, PhD Fitness, and how they all play together. Okay, so the reason for all the huff and puff, the $100 million ridiculous attempt at a lawsuit by Bodybuilding.com, Bodybuilding.com and Jim Stoppani created a working agreement in the year 2013. It was a 3-year agreement, I believe in June, and this is where the problem comes in, is we don't know the relationship of those two and what that agreement set out. And they're both claiming the opposite. So first, Bodybuilding.com is claiming that it formulated the product, which is now known as Gym, J-Y-M, that comes in pre-gym, post-gym, protein powder, but that's the line, Gym, J-Y-M. Bodybuilding.com is claiming they created it, they manufacture it, they sell it, they distribute it, they do all of it, and that Jim Stoppani is a celebrity endorser of the product line, and that I guess he, marketed it. Jim Stoppani is claiming that he formulated the supplements, and that Bodybuilding.com is simply distributing it, selling it, and helping with manufacturing. So there is a question of, well, who really owns this supplement? Like, who created it? Like, whose is this? Because apparently it wasn't spelled out in their document, or if it was, then that'll play out in court. Because this all stemmed because in June of this year, 2016, upon the expiration of this agreement between the two, Jim Stoppani took the Jim supplements to GNC, and now GNC is selling them. And what bodybuilding.com is suing for is they're saying, hey, this is our product. And now you are an unauthorized seller or dealer, and GNC is unauthorized to distribute this and sell it, along with Stoppani. And that's kind of where we are at this point in time. And I think Jim Stoppani has countersued and said the opposite, saying, hey, I formulated it, this is mine, our agreement expired, so I no longer have to sell it exclusively at bodybuilding.com, and I'm not. I'm going to take it. I took it to GNC, and we're selling it. But you, bodybuilding.com, do not have my permission to continue to sell the supplement. So then he's suing them, saying this is essentially the same thing. What makes this complicated is that neither entity, neither Jim Stoppani or his company or bodybuilding.com's company has successfully trademarked the term Jim, J-Y-M. Jim Stoppani does have trademarked Jim Supplement Science, but they don't have just Jim, J-Y-M. He actually filed for that and was rejected because it was too generic. It didn't really, I guess they said it wasn't descriptive enough. Bodybuilding.com has never, to my knowledge and from what I've read, tried to trademark it or nothing. And so they're seeking the cancellation of the successful trademark to Jim Stoppani and trying to get it into their onto their side. So that's where we are. Your big takeaway of it is, if you buy from bodybuilding.com, I guess you can keep buying from bodybuilding.com. It doesn't really change. If you buy from GNC, keep buying stuff from GNC. It doesn't really matter. Where it gets complicated is if you want to bring ethics and morality into it, or if you are a consumer of the Jim supplements yourself. I actually am. I've been consuming his products since they were created in 2013. My earliest videos, when I first launched my business, I talked about pre-Jim, and I was very, very high on it. I thought, especially at the time, it was a fantastic supplement, and he really took it, the transparency aspect of labeling everything, putting the dosage right on the label. He really took that to the level where it is now, but he took it to solely Jim Stoppani. We have these guys who claim, well, I was here in the 90s doing this. Stoppani's a fraud. I've been here in the 90s doing it. Let me tell you something, pal. There may be other companies that formulated products 80s, 90s, 2000s. I don't care when you formulated them. And you might have put everything on your label, but you did not. Don't pretend you didn't bring label transparency to the infamous state it is now. You didn't do anything for that. Jim Stoppani did. That's the bottom line there. And that's actually why I'm a big fan of this supplement line, regardless of who creates it right now, because that's up in the air. No one has any idea what the hell's going on. It's still a very, very good product. But what gets complicated now is that Jim Stoppani has formulated his own, what he's calling 2.0 supplements to sell at GNC, since he can't get his hands on the manufacturing and the labels and everything from the current Jim, since bodybuilding.com was responsible for all those processes. They control all that. He can't actually get his hands on that. So he had to go out and create a new label. He created new flavors. I assume he has his own or a new manufacturer. And now GNC can distribute that. So what becomes complicated now is you can buy pre-Jim, which is his pre-workout supplement, or I guess the anymore. If you buy from bodybuilding.com, it's the same three flavors, and it's now solely produced by bodybuilding.com. There's no more royalties going to Jim Stoppani. Jim Stoppani has nothing to do with that line, with that manufacturing. Has nothing to do with it at all. Completely unrelated now. But it's still called Jim, which I find actually pretty funny, because regardless of the details, whether he's a celebrity endorser or not, it's very clear that the Jim brand identifies with Jim Stoppani, considering what he's done for the label and for the brand and for his websites and social media. It's all about the supplement. So it's kind of interesting that bodybuilding.com is going to try to continue to sell it without him. And then now Jim has created his new 2.0 with new flavors, and they sell from GNC. So pretty much here's the scoop. If you support Jim Stoppani, the person, the man, and you believe him when he says that he created the formula, or you just want to support him, then I guess I recommend that you buy, and you want to continue to use the Jim line, then I recommend you buy it from GNC, because he will get royalties from that. He does get paid for that. That's now his line that he'll be getting paid for. Don't buy from bodybuilding.com. If you buy the Jim line from bodybuilding.com, all that money and revenue and all that stays with bodybuilding.com. Jim Stoppani will not see a penny of it. If you support bodybuilding.com in this and don't like Jim Stoppani, but you like the product, or you think he's lying and that bodybuilding.com was the one that created it all along and he was just a celebrity endorser, then I recommend that you continue to buy it from bodybuilding.com solely. Don't buy it from GNC. If you don't give a damn, well, then this was a waste of 10 minutes for you. Just kidding. What I'm personally going to do, I find this interesting. I find personal endorsements or personal matters such as this to be interesting. I try to toe the line of fact, and since right now we don't know the facts because it's all in court and all the documents are tied up and they're kind of ambiguous and we don't really know the extent of the relationship, and I don't really know who created the formula, it's tough for me to say, oh yeah, Jim Stoppani, he definitely did all that. Bodybuilding.com is being super greedy. But then on the other hand, I can't say that the opposite's true and that bodybuilding.com solely created everything and that they're just protecting their brand. I can't say that either. So you have to understand, before I give my personal opinion on what I think is going on, it's purely speculative, and I could be 1,000,000% wrong, which is kind of funny. And then I'll tell you what I do. And I don't say this so that you follow me like I'm the ringleader and we just all were in the army marching together, left foot, right foot. That's not the purpose of this. The purpose, I feel like I do have a duty to my audience to at least share knowledge of where I'm coming from to help them out with their opinion. Like what good is it if I just read these reports and read facts, but then don't actually come up with an opinion? And I just say, I'm staying in the middle. I don't want to tell you guys what I think. That defeats the whole purpose of this podcast. So, without further ado, just a reminder, make up your own mind. Don't do what I do, please. That's goofball stuff, all right? That's low-level thinking. I want you to come up with your own opinion, your own reason why, be able to defend yourself if somebody questions you. That's the goal. All right. I tend to believe Jim Stoppani. I think he's been in the supplement industry for decades. I don't see him agreeing to let somebody else produce a product in which he has no input in, and that he'll just put his picture and likeness, on a new supplement line, and then create all these social media platforms and create a website and create a studio, because he's created an actual studio and an actual gym GYM, where they film all their workout videos, and it's all around this gym supplement line. I don't think he would do all that if he's not the owner, or at least not the creator of this. I don't see him doing that. And what I think has happened, if I'm going to be speculative, is that I think bodybuilding.com has seen tens of millions of dollars come in through this line. This line is absolutely popular. If you look at their top 50 selling, the gym line's up there in the top 5, I believe. And there's multiple products that he has in the top 50. So it's a really big cash product. I mean, they're making a lot of money for everybody involved. And I think what happened is, once their 3-year agreement expired, Jim Stoppani said, look, we had a 3-year agreement. I've enjoyed all my time here at bodybuilding.com, but I no longer want to be held to exclusivity with you. I want to expand this product line. We're growing. I want to continue to grow it. I want to go to GNC. I want to get into Amazon. I've got big plans, and I plan to do that. And honestly, then, bodybuilding.com, realizing that their cash flow is about to be cut off from this supplement line, decided to react with hostility and greed. And they've essentially going to say, no, we created this together, my man, or we created this, you were just helping out. It's really ours, since we're doing all the work for it anyways. And now they're threatening lawsuits, and I think this actually speaks even more to my point now that GNC's gotten into the loop. And GNC must be aware of everything that's going on. they must have had some sort of proof from Jim Stoppani to go ahead with this, because bodybuilding.com sent both of them threatening letters before the lawsuit, and then they filed the lawsuit. But I think it's a tough man syndrome, and they're trying to be, they're trying to flex their muscles here by trying to go after $100 million. That's an absurd amount of money. And yes, maybe you could say, well, look, if they're doing tens of millions of dollars of this product, that actually might be the correct money-wise. It's still tough man shit. Nobody sues you for $100 million over a supplement line. I just think it's tough tactics, and they're trying to really pressure Stoppani and GNC, because GNC is a publicly held company, folks. That's not a private company or a private corporation. So they have stockholders to answer to. Maybe the stockholders don't want this BS. They don't want to say, "Hey, what the hell is going on? Why are we being sued for $100 million? Get that line the hell out of our stores and settle with bodybuilding. Pay them, I don't know, $10 million, $20 million." And that's a tactic maybe done by bodybuilding.com. And then they know they could take Jim one-on-one because they're going to have way more resources. Bodybuilding.com is a $1 billion company. So they can take him on easily by himself. I think that's personally what's happening. So what I plan to do is, obviously the product is exactly the same. The flavors are different, but the actual ingredients are identical from what bodybuilding.com is currently selling and what Jim Stoppani took to GNC. It's the same thing. I currently am going to continue to use my tubs that I currently have. I have protein, and I have pre-workout, and I have post-workout. I have my tubs still that I ordered from bodybuilding.com before this went down, which was only, I think, 2 weeks ago. I'm not going to sit here and say it's a bad product now, because it's the same thing. So I'm going to use it. I'm going to go through it, but I will not be no longer supporting bodybuilding.com. And it might seem pretentious. It might seem a mistake, considering all the facts aren't out yet. And bodybuilding.com could be in the right, and I could be wrong on this. But that's just my course of action for now. I tend not to believe bodybuilding.com, and I tend to believe Jim Stoppani. When the facts come out of the court case and things are either confirmed for me or the opposite's proven true, then I will properly respond and then side with the facts. But as of now, I'm deciding to personally not purchase from bodybuilding.com. And when my tubs run out, I will go to GNC. I will suck it up, go to that damn store, and I will buy the supplement that I like to use. I will buy the gym line from there. All right, so that's where I stand on that. Continue to follow that. That's pretty big news for this in the supplement world and the fitness world. It's pretty big news because Stoppani's a big name, and obviously bodybuilding.com and GNC are big names. So that's that. Moving on, I want to share my colonoscopy experience with you. Oh my God, what the hell? Hold on, we're not going to be third graders about this. We're not going to talk about poop. We're not going to no, that's not what we're doing. There is a direct reason for doing this. There has been a theme that I've been talking about in my recent articles, even podcasts, and that's been about preventable death, right? Preventable death, planning for the future, getting people to look at health and wellness and take it serious, and that they can justify putting some money into it, so that way they're healthy for their long term, and they don't get type 2 diabetes at age 45 or 50. Okay? Well, my colonoscopy experience was very interesting, and I want to come at it from the standpoint of doing scary things that in the long term ensure my survival, ensure my well-being, ensure my good health. Because regardless, even if you are not someone who needs a colonoscopy, I'm sure there's something out there, a mammogram, a test that you hate doing and you put off and you don't see the value in and you hate doing it. I just want to bring it down to reality here for everybody. So I needed a colonoscopy because my mother passed away at the age of 46 from colon cancer. Her brother, my uncle, on the same side of the family, obviously, on that side of the family, he died in his 40s as well, colon cancer. By the time they were both diagnosed, I believe it was stage 4, which means it traveled out of the intestines and somewhere else. My mother, it was the liver. Once it does that, it's pretty much, it's a wrap. At that point, there's too much going on. Your body can't fight that, and there was always death. So with that being my family history, and colon cancer being primarily genetic, I met with my PCP, and we went over this and he recommended I get the colonoscopy now. And I said, okay, that sounds good, because last thing I want is to develop colon cancer, and because it's very, very hard to detect. The symptoms they don't really manifest themselves. It's hard to get it diagnosed. So by the time it goes from stage 1 to diagnosis, it's stage 4. Like it's at the end. It's really crippling, and you start to feel lots of pain, cramping, bleeding. I mean, it becomes a problem, and it's too late. So I went through this pre-screening. Most people don't need a colonoscopy until they turn age 50. And even then, I know plenty of individuals that are scared to do it, and they put it off. They don't want to do it. It's invasive. It's the prep. It's the idea of having something go where and go around you, and now I have to go to the hospital, and it's surgery. What's going on? And I get that. But if you've been following us for the last couple of weeks on our podcast, preventable deaths has been a big theme. How can you tell me that there's something more important than saving your life? You being scared or fearful or uncomfortable, how the hell does that really compare to death? Right? It dwarfs it. What the hell? So anyways, I want to do is just to share some light with you guys and let you know how I went through the process, how I found it to be. And I want to start by saying, don't believe the morons on the computer. That was my biggest downfall. I'm in order to prep for this thing, in order to get myself ready, both mentally, physically, everything, I research. It's what I do. It's the nature of my career. It's the nature of the field. I research the crap out of everything. So, I looked at everything from the individual products that you can take that serve as a laxative. I looked at the actual procedure, how everything operates, what anesthesia you get put on. I look at all of it. And that was the worst part, because if you were to look online, you feel like it's freaking Armageddon. People act like this thing is the worst thing of all time. Excuse me, that it's so hard to do that you're going to hate yourself for 2 days. So, of course, my anxiety was like, oh, man, I don't want to have to do this. I can't wait to, I can't wait to be done with it. I don't even want to think about it. So, anyways, I had to do my prep on Sunday. My procedure was Monday morning. And the way it works is the entire day before your procedure is what they call your prep day. Now, on your prep day, you can have no solid food, and you can only drink clear liquids such as lemon lime Gatorade, water. You could do like chicken broth. You could do things like black coffee, but you couldn't have any cream or nothing like that in it. So it was just like pretty much like your just liquid diet, and it was still restricted from there. And no, I think the color words were no red or green or something like that, or orange, purple. I don't know. There were certain colors that you couldn't consume. So I actually started my day off really bad on Sunday. I was watching the Pitt game Saturday night against Oklahoma State. Pitt's my alma mater. And I was consuming alcohol. Now, I don't even really drink that much anymore. I honestly don't. You know how they always ask you, what kind of drinker are you? What kind of drinker are you? Are you a social drinker? I always think that question's funny. What kind of drinker are you? Or how much alcohol do you consume? It's like, I don't know. I mean, it depends. So, I probably had 6 to 8 beers on Saturday night. From about 3:30 when the game started until I went to bed about 10 or 11. It's not that bad, right? But it was really ramped up during the Pitt game. So I might have had just like one, as the Pitt game started, but then it got ramped up pretty good there. And I, consumed them in a row. Then there was that long lightning delay, and it came back on at the end. It was a pretty crazy game. So anyways, I wake up and I have a hangover, right? I got a headache. I don't feel great. I feel like sleeping more. It was like 8 o'clock or so. And I said, all right, well, I'm going back to bed. Went back to bed till about 10:30. I got up. Still felt like dehydrated, and I'm like thinking, like, you idiot. You just drank alcohol last night, you're feeling dehydrated, and now you're going to be having self-induced diarrhea later, which is going to be all liquid. Congratulations on really screwing yourself here and making yourself dehydrated and setting yourself up for failure. So I ran out to the Giant Eagle, got all my supplies for this prep, bought Gatorade and just started pounding lemon lime Gatorade and water, and just before this thing took place, because I was not to start till 4 p.m. So I got up about 10:30, start doing these chores. It was about noon when I started to really drink, and I just started to go to town. And you're kind of dehydrated when you don't have to go to the bathroom. And I got to like 3:30, and I finally took my first pee of the day. Right? And so I'm thinking, oh, this is going to be terrible. This is not going to be fun. I'm going to feel exhausted. I'm going to feel sick. I'm going to feel... So I mixed the prep up. I had it in the fridge so that it's cold. I pulled it out at 4 o'clock. And from YouTube and other things online, everyone's like, oh, this is the worst thing ever. It's so salty. There was a lady that gagged and threw up. I mean, there was a guy, a middle-aged man, like in his 50s, like he was like gagging himself drinking it, it was just some other person had to have a lemon. They would cut this lemon and like chase it, like almost like they're doing a shot of tequila. So they would bite on the lemon, suck on the lemon, then drink some of this this beverage, this laxative beverage, then go back and do another lemon wedge, and then go like, oh, it tastes awful, and like out of breath and like twisty face, and I'm thinking, what the heck is this? Is going to not only is this going to evacuate my bowels, but it's also going to taste like crap apparently. Great. Well, being how I am, I'm not really into any of this wussy baby stuff. I'm not into that. So I just pour myself a glass. It looks like water. And I just begin to drink it straight. That's what I do. I'm not going to stand there and make it a bigger issue than it needs to be. And actually, so I'm drinking this stuff, and it reminds me of Alka-Seltzer when you would drop the little tablet in the cup and it would fizzle up and then you drink it. It tastes like that, like a really bad lemon lime, like a little bit salty, and it was like a dry liquid where like you drink it and it's liquid, but it like dries your tongue out, right? Because of all the salts and all the ingredients from the laxative are going in. My tongue was getting dry. Now look, it wasn't the greatest tasting thing in the world. It was very salty and bitter, but it was fine. I mean, I drank my thing. I did my whole container, no problem, no gagging, no throwing up, no feeling like my stomach was sick, nothing, literally nothing. I just drank it. It was like water, no problems going in at all whatsoever. And it works pretty quick. Within 50 minutes of starting, I was ready to go to the bathroom, and the way they have set up is they really make sure they're thorough with this thing. I mean, they want you cleaned out so that when they're putting the scope inside your intestines, they're able to actually view all the walls. There's nothing in there at all. Everything's cleaned out. So the process goes like this. I had a container of this was 32 ounces. I had an hour to drink it. And just so people know, that's like 2 water bottles. 2 water bottles in an hour. And it wasn't bad. I didn't feel bloated. I didn't feel like I drank too much liquid. It was pretty good. Then a couple hours later at 7 p.m., so about 3 hours later when I first started, I had 3 tablets of laxative. So I took those, and then I had to get up at 2 a.m., 2 in the morning, to drink another 32 ounces of that mixture before my procedure. So I did that again. And that entire time I was going to the bathroom, obviously. It's a lot of laxative. There's a lot of stuff going on there. And I probably stopped going to the bathroom probably about 10:30, 11. 10:30, 11. And the way it works is it's very frequent in the beginning. Like once you first start going to the bathroom from the laxatives, it's pretty nonstop. I mean, like I would get up. You can ask my girlfriend. It'd be funny because we were trying to watch a TV show downstairs because we have a bathroom right next to our living room, and we'd watch 3 minutes of something, and I'd say, "Hey, pause that," and I'd go back to the bathroom and go to the bathroom again. It was like that. It was like 3 to 5 minute increments. It was like you couldn't do anything. It starts that way, and then the periods in between slowly over time get farther apart. Then you do 10 minutes, then it's 20 minutes, then it's an hour. But it never really stops. So by 10:30, 11, I made sure I went to the bathroom for my last time. I said, okay, I'm going to try to get some sleep. I got to be up by 2. And I'll probably have to go to the bathroom again before that. We'll see what happens. Well, to my surprise, I was all right. I passed out, and I woke up with my alarm at 1:55 or whatever it was. And I got up, tired as can be. Didn't even feel sick. Didn't feel like I was tired. I didn't feel out of energy. I didn't feel dehydrated. I actually felt really good. I got up from that nap, or I guess you could call it a nap. I got up from it, and I felt better than before bed. I was actually starting to get tired of going to the bathroom, honestly. That's what it was. It was more of a mental exhaustion where I was like, I don't want to have to keep doing this. Like, I'm getting bored of doing this, and I just was running out of stuff to do with magazines, and but I didn't feel that great going to bed. I was kind of just like, just tired of doing things. Like I wanted to be over. Like mentally I was exhausted. But I woke up and found myself to be refreshed, and I felt better physically. Well, I'll go down, drank my thing, did my, it all repeated again. I drank it at 2, and I went bathroom pretty much nonstop, with greater periods in between until about 5 a.m. 5 a.m. And at 5 a.m., I got to go back to bed. I slept till about 8 a.m. or so. And then we left the hospital at like 8:30 or 9:30, I forget which. We had to be there at 9:30. I think we left at like 9 o'clock. So all in all, my sleep wasn't even bad because I usually get about 5 to 6 hours of sleep at night. I try to get up early and get started working. So, if I slept 2 or 3 hours the first time and then another 2 or 3 hours, I was good to go. And I didn't feel tired. I didn't feel dehydrated. And I was researching this. Apparently, the laxative mixture is really more like a wash than it is something that's absorbed in creating the diarrhea or creating the watery bathroom trips. And so what happens, my understanding is, I could be dead wrong, is that when you drink this mixture, this particular one at least, this mixture, it goes in the stomach, goes in, down the digestive tract into the intestines, and it's not really absorbed. It's just, it remains as is, and it comes down and just washes everything out. So you're not really dehydrated because you're only going to the bathroom, the liquids that you're drinking. Again, anyways, that's my understanding of it. So I didn't feel dehydrated. I actually felt pretty good. And then I couldn't eat or drink anything from 3:30 a.m. onwards. So once after 3:30, I started my second dosing at 2 p.m. It takes you an hour. I was done by 3 p.m. and a half hour to drink some Gatorade and water. And that was it. And then I couldn't have anything at all until my procedure. And I just slept. No big deal. So, honestly, the prep, people always say the prep's terrible. The prep was pretty easy for the most part. It honestly was. Mentally, it might beat you down. It gets boring and it gets old going in the bathroom and having, liquid shooting out. That does get annoying, but it wasn't awful. It wasn't bad. So, moving on to the hospital part of it, which actually, so after I finished the bowel prep, I think, okay, well that was easy. Now I'm actually concerned about the operation side of things, because everybody always says the prep's the worst. So I didn't even think about going to the hospital, getting an IV, going to the actual procedure, and then I started to think, okay, well that wasn't that bad. This has got to be bad, right? Like, oh my God, like this is going to be awful. I'm going to get needles here, needles there. I don't know how the anesthesia is going to go. I've never been sedated before. I have my wisdom teeth and everything. So anyways, you get to the hospital, pretty quick about it. I got there at 9:30. I was probably in prep at like 9:40, 9:35. You change. You go into this preparation room. You get into a bed. There's probably 6 to 10 other people in there. A nurse comes, very nice lady, puts an IV into my back of my hand, begins to give me the drip of like Gatorade. She called it Gatorade with no sugar. So it's like your electrolytes, your vitamins, and water for hydration. So I start getting that, and it's actually a really cool feeling I found, because that's like room temperature, and your body's obviously heated up to 98 point whatever, 6 or whatever it is, 98 point whatever. You actually feel the liquid going into your back of your hand, and it's very, very cold. It's very crazy. It's very, very, very interesting. So then my right hand was cold. But that was harmless. I'm not scared of needles. I have very good veins. It was very easy to do. Met with the anesthesiologist. He came over. He said, "Hey, I'm so and so. Go through a brief history. What I'm there for. I've ever been sedated." I told him no. He goes, "Okay, we're going to give you propofol. It's pretty easy. People like it. Blah blah blah." That was the end of that. So didn't even really answer too much. Met with the surgeon. No big deal. Again, he was very nice. Talked just about family history, what he should be looking for, that sort of stuff, and that was it. Next thing you know, probably in there about an hour though. I just sat there for an hour, and just maybe talk to some people. But then you get wheeled into the operation room, and they roll you on your side. They give you these blankies. You talk to your anesthesia, your nurse or your anesthesiologist nurse, I guess, or whoever's in charge of your anesthesia once you're in the room. It wasn't the same guy. And she's in there, and we're talking a little bit. They roll you on your side. They turn all the lights off. It's very dark. I almost fell asleep on my own, really. But then she says, all right, we're just going to give you this anesthetic. It's going to put you out. It's just like going to sleep. It's very, very fast acting. And it was like she put it on. And then, as soon as it started to flow, she said, okay, you're going to get sleepy, and that was it. I mean, literally, she said that, my eyes closed, and I was out. Woke up, it felt like 1 second. It felt like, like you took a nap, right? You almost want to shoot up. I woke up in the room, a little groggy, woke up. They said, hey, it's all over now. And I was like, oh, all right, very quick. They wheeled me out on the bed back to this recovery room. My girlfriend was there, and I remember waking up and feeling, it was like groggy. It was like tired, like you wake up from a nap and you kind of want to hit your snooze alarm in the morning. That's what it kind of felt like, but it felt different. Not that I was high, but I had an extreme sense of confidence, which might just be my personality, honestly. But I remember getting up and being like, "Oh, that wasn't that bad at all," and I started to pretend I was boxing. I was punching the air, saying, "Oh, that was easy. Yeah, look at me, I'm tough." Sort of embarrassing. But that was that. I mean, I changed. They gave me a cup of ice water. I drank some water. I sat up. They said, all right, you're good to go. And I left. That was it. That was my prep and procedure. That's literally how it went down. Literally how it went down. I gave you all the details. That's the inside scoop of a colonoscopy. I feel bad for the people that might have reactions to the different medications and then they get violently ill and sick and all that. That's one thing. But it was really easy. Nothing wrong. And and immediately after leaving there, we went right to a food place, got a sandwich. I ate it. I was hungry. No repercussions with the digestion, really. No repercussions with going to the bathroom after. I was fine. And from then on, I was good to go. That's it. That's what a colonoscopy is. Why the hell are people such babies about the damn thing? Because they listen to morons online who want to act like, oh, this is the worst thing in the world. This is so bad. Where'd you grow up? This is saving your life, potentially, and you're acting like a baby about drinking a salty lemonade, I guess. Oh, my God, the prep, oh, it's so bad. I'm going to gag. It's gross. Drink the damn stuff and go about your thing. The actual procedure, you don't remember a thing. It's super easy. That's what I want to leave you with today. If there are things in your life now that you can do to prevent illness and death, would you quit crying, quit whining, and do what needs to be done? Take care of your business. I don't care if you're a woman that needs a mammogram or if you're a guy, if you're like in my shoes, you're somebody that needs a colonoscopy. Maybe you're overweight and obese and you need to get in shape, like you have type 2 diabetes, you're losing circulation, your foot's going to go. Take responsibility and get after it. Let's go. You can do things to change. You're not stuck where you are. You don't have to endure these ultra painful exploration surgeries. Just get it done so you don't have cancer, for God's sake. My takeaway message: don't be a baby. It's really not that bad. Reach out to us, ramselitefitness.com, ramselitefitness.com. Reach us there. You'll find all of our podcasts under the latest research tab. Go to our social media, Rams Elite Fitness, on Facebook and Instagram. YouTube page, Rams Elite Fitness, that's our channel. And then finally, Twitter, Rams Elite Fitness. Search us. You'll find us there. All of that. All of our content we do is for a reason. I don't just aimlessly do stuff. Today's podcast wasn't so I could talk about poop or go to the bathroom. It's about talking and speaking to people about things that you might feel uncomfortable about, but that have such a big impact. They save your life. Think about the impact on your family, on your friends. And you're going to sit there and tell me you're scared to get something done? You're too scared? Thank you, Ray, for listening, and I will see you on next week's program.